Macbeth time at last. Hurrah! Thank goodness for that. Oh wow! So here we have a wonderful company ready to Macbeth it up for you this afternoon. We have just been having the most intense time coming into this, so it bodes very well for this afternoon. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to do a quick sort of chat round and say hello to our company who are entertaining you today. And then I'm going to send the wonderful actors off to the virtual tiring house to just gather their breath before we start. So ready to Macbeth it up for you today, we have the amazing Tim Klotz, who is joining us as Macduff. We can't wait. And Lucia Lumbard, who is going to be Donalbaine, and a few other people are as well, so keep your eye open for her. And Fergus is back with us to be Ross, which is wonderful. And Valentina is our lovely lady, our Lady Macbeth, as well as looking after the technical side of everything. And the Claire, who looks amazing, and so far is winning best look of the afternoon. Claire is back with us, and she is Captain Menteth at the moment, but she will be other people as well, because the magic of theatre is getting everybody acting today. And we've got Simon, who is ready to king it up in great style, and will be back with us as other people as well. And we have Matt, who has taken on the great role. Lovely to have you back, Matt. And Siegffreid over in Paris. They might have locked him down, but he's still with us in spirit. And we've got Hannah Harris back, which is very exciting. It's lovely to have you back, Hannah. It's been a while. And Olly's back just in time to be introduced. Hey, Olly. And again, most people you're seeing as one character. Most people are doubling. They will pop up again. And we have the lovely Mark Cassidy, who is actually in Exeter, but is ready to porter it up with us. And Larissa, who is having quite a journey of it this afternoon, so watch out for her. Lizzie Huxley, who looks really scary. I have no idea who she's playing. And Geraldine, who equally looks fantastic and is ready to give us a great time. And Bridget, who has not been partying the night away in America, celebrating, or so we have been told, but is with us again from over in Oregon, which is amazing. And last but definitely not least, we've got Abby Bradbury, who is back from the Cream-Faced Loons. Who is playing a Cream-Faced Loon? I couldn't resist that. Very, very lovely to have you all here. So, deep breaths, all of you lot. Off you go, pull yourselves together. I'm just going to do the little introductory chat, and then we will get on with this play. So, for those of you who haven't joined us before, hello. My name's Lizzie. I am Artistic Director of Shake-Scene Shakespeare. We are currently the only UK company that are performing and teaching the technique of working from cued parts only. So we do not rehearse an entire play before we perform it, although at the moment it feels like we have. So why do we do that? Not because we're crazy, but because that is pretty much how they did it in Shakespeare's time. And we find it a fascinating way to open up the text and find out, well, spot things that we don't normally spot and have moments that none of us knew were going to happen, which is endlessly fun, exciting, and quite frankly, terrifying. So that is what we're doing today. Now, because this is Macbeth, and yes, I am allowed to say the word, because I'm not currently in a theatre. I am sitting at home in my home office, and it's not bad luck to say it at home, thank goodness. We are doing Macbeth today, and Macbeth is absolutely stuffed full of fights, physical action, a certain degree of murdering. We've got a ghost, we've got witches, we've got incantations, we've got all sorts of stuff, and we have a huge amount of sound cues, many more than I thought we were going to have to deal with. So what's been happening pretty much for the last 48 hours straight is we have been prepping and sort of getting levels set on sound cues. We've been playing them to the cast so they are not caught out, because if they're being brought in by the sound of a raven or a trumpet or something, right, here's your sound. We have also had to run the fights, and yes, we're having fights and murders. Okay, we're having them on Zoom, but we're still having them. And yes, we have had to actually rehearse those. Now, you can say to us, well, that's cheating. You don't rehearse beforehand. It's like, yeah, we've just done the sequences that involve action and sound. So we have not done the whole play. We have not done whole scenes. Most people, half the cast know a little bit of what they're doing. The other half of the cast have no idea what's coming. So, and anyway, whatever we have to rehearse, so did they in Shakespeare's time. And there is historical evidence that they ran songs and dances and fights just as we have to, because it makes theatrical sense. So we're not cheating. Thank you very much. It's just made the last couple of days really quite busy. Before we start, I'm just going to do 3 thank yous to particular members of the company who have gone far beyond the call of duty. To Lizzie Huxley, who has once more given us a little bit of unique music for supporting the witches in their magicalities. And so that is a lovely thing to have, and we thank you very much for that. I also want to thank the amazing Siegffreid, who has collected up our great gallery of sounds and even spent time yesterday going, can we, because we were sort of going, can we have a different trumpet and can we have another drum, and you know, the knocking on the door and all of that sort of thing. So there's been a lot of that going on, but we have a wonderful gallery of sounds, and we have those purely because of the amazing Siegffreid. And I'm going to now embarrass completely the amazing, utterly amazing, and I think the company would agree with me, Alexandra Katigida, who has been absolutely insanely brilliant, especially in the last couple of days, because she is not only running our tech sounds for us today, thank you very much, Alexandra, because then I don't have to do it. And she has also choreographed and rehearsed all the fights and all the physical action. So it's been extremely busy times for her. I know she's loved every minute, and I'm so in awe of watching what all these wonderful people bring to this particular brand of insanity that we've gone in for. But all I can say is any fight or any moment that you see that you are impressed by, that was Alexandra. So to you, we thank you, Alexandra, and I hope you sleep well tonight. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Apart from to say, as usual, we are doing all of this for free. Nobody is getting paid, but we do have our donations link. If you are able to, and if you would like to, then please drop a few coins in our hat. The money goes into a pot, which is periodically shared out between members of the cast. And with Christmas coming up, we're going to be doing a pot share really soon. So we're sharing it between such company members as are still experiencing significant hardship. And we do send a proportion of it to the Stephen Lawrence Foundation, supporting a cause that we are very deeply enthusiastic and committed to. So if you're able to, please do. If you're not able to, you are incredibly welcome to stay watching. Anyway, we are here, we are doing this because we love it, because we love Shakespeare, and because we love all of you anyway. Okay, time for me to be quiet. Time for me to find the book script. So within this actual performance, all things remaining equal, you won't see very much of me. I will pop up at the interval, yes, we're having an interval, and do a sort of 5-minute chat to give everybody a chance to go and get a cup of tea and catch their breath. But otherwise, my job as the book holder normally are prompt lines. In this particular environment, if somebody's internet drops out, that's when I pop up. So hopefully the internet will be kind to us today, but if not, I'll be seeing you then. Otherwise, it's just going to be the amazing company all the way. Excuse me while I rearrange my screen. So, deep breaths. This is a very exciting play to be doing, by the way, the day after the result of the American election. We didn't realize that it was going to time out quite like this when we scheduled it. So it is quite amazing, just this idea of rulers and bringing people down and stuff, not being political. Although listen out for what the porter gets to say, because that was fun. Right, we are going to the country of Scotland. And we're going into a Scotland that is going through a significantly troubled time, because there has been something of a revolt among some of the thanes, the lords of Scotland. We never know exactly who. We hear a couple of names, but they appear to have done a deal with the Vikings, the Norwegians, who have come from Ireland, from their base around Dublin and places like that in the Western Islands. And so we have a rebel army currently mid-battle against the Scottish army, the rebels being partly Scottish lords and Vikings, Norwegians, and Irish. So there is great trouble in the Kingdom of Scotland, which is being felt very personally by King Duncan, and, well, all sorts of things are going on. And it could be that darker forces are also at work in this land. So, deep breath. Are we ready to go? So, I need, spoiler, 3 witches. Can you guys give me a yep, we're ready?
Yep.
Cool. And so, here we go. I will see you all at the interval, hopefully not before. Have a wonderful time in Scotland. And when I go, wait for the thunder to roll. Have fun, everyone.
When shall we 3 meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly is done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, grey Malkin!
Had it called anon.
Fair is foul and foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Oh, doubtful it stood, as 2 spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless Macdonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of Kerns and Galagos is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarry smiling showed like a rebel's hoe. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth, not well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like Vala's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O worthy cousin, valiant gentleman!
As when the sun gins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and darful thunder, so from that spring, whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Now mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had, with valour armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lords, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows eagles, or the hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons o'ercharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorise another Golgotha, I cannot tell. Oh, but I'm fain, my gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds, they smack of honour both. Go get him surgeons. Who comes here?
Oh, the worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste look through his eyes. So should he look, that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence came thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the skies and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by the most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, Lapton proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
The now Swain, the Norwegian's king, craves composition, nor would we design him burial for his men, till he dispersed at St. Column's Yink. $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where's thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap. Give me, quoth I. And right thee, witch, the rump-eared Runyon cried. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know in the shipman's card. I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Weary sad nights, 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, racked as homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The wayward sisters,
Hand in hand.
Posters of the sea and land.
thus to go about.
Thrice to thine.
And
Thrice
thrice
to
to
mine.
mine.
And thrice again to make up 9.
Peace. The charm's wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
Our farthest called to Sorris. What are these? So withered and so wild in their entire, that looks not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are here on it. Live you, or are you out that man may question? You seem to understand me by each at once, her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start? And seem to fear things that do sound so fair? At the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace, and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak them to me, who neither beg nor fear your favours nor your hate.
Hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth, but greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sindel's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak! I charge you!
Well, the earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. What seemed corporal melted, as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed?
Were such things here, as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane route that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
A Dane of Cawdor too. Went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath haply received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' sight, his wonders and his prayers do contend, which should be thine or his. Silence with that in viewing over the rest of the self-same day. He finds thee in stout Norway's ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make. Strange images of death, as thick as tale, can post with post, and every one did bear thy prayers in his kingdom's great defence, and powered them down before him.
We are sent to give leave from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee in his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest or of a greater honour, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he laboured in his country's wrack, I know not, but treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Fleance, the Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings? And those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them.
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. But if good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise. Nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
Chance will have me king. Why, chance may crown me without my stir.
New honours come upon him like our strange garments, cleave not to their mould, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favour. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Banquo, think upon what hath chanced, and at more time the interim having waited, Let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor, or not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Ha! Worthiest cousin! The sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy upon me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hast less deserved that the proportion, both of thanks and payments, might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due, than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness passes to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants which do but what they should, by doing everything safe toward your love and honour.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that has no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest know, we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labour which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
Prince of Cumberland, for that is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be, which the eye fears when it is done perceived.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burnt in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these wayward sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming of time, which hail king that shalt be. These have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou must not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shall be what thou art promise. Yet I do fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, thou wouldst holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'st have, great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do, if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou meant to say it. Is not thy master with him? Who, what so, would have informed for preparation?
Oh, so please you, it is true. Oates is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the axes and passage to remorse, that no compunctions visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and hit. Come to my woman breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murthering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pour thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife shall see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by all. By the all hail year after, thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
Dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my thane, is as a book, where men may read strange matters to beguile the time. Look like the time, bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue, look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favour ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting Bartlett, does approve by his loved masonry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No jutty frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle where they must breed and haunt. I have observed the air is delicate.
See, our honoured hostess. The love that follow us sometimes is our trouble, which still we
all our
find
service in every point twice done, and then done double, where poor and single business to contend against those honours deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels, and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great glove, sharp as his spur, hath holp him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants have theirs themselves, and what is theirs incomped to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host, we love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here upon this bank and shoulder time we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment. Here, we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject strong, both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation that is taking off. Pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Has it slept since, and wakes him now to look so green and pale, and what he did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemed the ornament of life, and live a coward in thy own esteem? Let ye neither not wait upon a world like the poor cat, the adage.
In peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break the enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man, and to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. No time, no place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums, and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking planes, say will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only, when in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death. What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber and used their very daggers that they have done?
What else received other, as we shall make our griefs and clamour roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How does the night, boy?
Down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take 'tis later, sir.
Hold. Take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way in repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir, not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been in unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This Diamond, he greets you, wife withal, by the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became a servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three wayward sisters to you, that they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, shall make honour for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counselled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Go bid my mistress when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? A handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this, which now I draw. Thou marshals me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes have made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood 'twas not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs us to mine eyes. Now of the one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtain's sleep. Witchcraft celebrate pale Hecat's offerings, and withered murder alarum by his sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch thus, with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Now sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Was I threat, he lives. Words to the heated deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked at the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He's about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as his left I had donned. My husband?
I have done the deed. Did I not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now?
As I descended?
Aye.
Look! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbaine.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
This one did laugh in sleep, and one cried, murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen. The other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands, listening their fear. I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I am most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the ravelled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labour's bath, Balcon minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still, it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis have murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more.
Who was it?
Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go get some water and wash the filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on again. I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild their faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Where? Whence is that knocking? Thou is't with me when every noise appalls me. What hands are here? Ha! They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No! This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your colour, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy has left you unattended. Hark, more knocking! Get on your nightgown, lest occasion calls us, and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
Know my deed, to rest not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. We're a man porter of Hellgate. He should have trump, turn in the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Howdy, partner. Here's the son of a gun set up the American electoral system. Sorry, sir. You just stand in line over there while I recount your sins on the quills of a split-end porpentine. But rest assured, once in here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, here's Bonnie Boris, all set in his jelly mold. Here's one thing you can't wriggle out of, Mr. Equivocator. Here, you'll join a new community. Never mind. Watch your fringe in the flames, Equivocator. Knock, knock. Who's there? Faith. Here's a proper little demon. Welcome, coronavirus. Rest you well after your exterminations. Your job is done. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, never at quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I thought to have let in all of Trump's litigious crew to go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon. Pray you remember the porter.
Was it so late ere you went to bed that you did lie so late?
Hey, sir, we were carousing till the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things doth drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. Provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
It provokes the desire, but takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him, and it mars him. It sets him on, and it takes him off. It persuades him, disheartens him, makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat of me, but I requited him for his lie, and I think being strong for him, though he took me by my legs sometimes, I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Well, not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I've almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to them.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labour we delight in, physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint, sir.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard, its air. Strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events, now hatched thus woeful time. The obscure bird clamoured the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
It was a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror. Horror. Horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
What's the matter?
Confusion hath now made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the Lord's anointed temple and stolen thence the life of the building.
What did you say? The life?
Means you in his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See. And then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo! And Donalbaine! And Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up, up, and see! The great doom's image! Balcon! Banquo! As from your graves, rise up and wake like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
There's such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house. Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a tender ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo! Banquo! Our royal master's murdered.
Oh, alas! What in our house?
Too cruel anywhere, dear Duff. I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this, chance I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had don't. Their hands and faces were all backed with blood, so were the daggers which, unwept, we found upon their pillows. They starred and were distracted. No man life was to be trusted with them.
Yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Therefore did you do it?
Well, who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man! The expedition of my violent love outrun the palsy, reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There, the murderers, steeped in the colours of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love? And in that heart, courage to make love known.
Oh, me hands. Oh.
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues, that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here, where our fate hid in an augury hole may rush and seize us? Let's away, our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady, and when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
So do I.
So
all.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness. Meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
Well contented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easily. I'll to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The nearer the blood, the nearer the bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange, but this sore night hath terrified former knowings.
Good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act, threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveller's lamp. 'Tis night predominance of the day's shame. The darkness does the face of earth entomb, when living light should kiss it.
'Tis unnatural. Even like the deed that's done on Tuesday last, a falcon towering in her pride of place was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contented against obedience as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they ate each other.
They did so. To that amazement of mine eyes, they looked upon us. Here comes my good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Isn't it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Yes, that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas, today, what good could they pretend?
Well, they were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbaine were the king's two sons. They are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition, that will raven up thine own lives' means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
Well, he's already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of his bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad and friends of foes.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird women promised, and I fear thou playest most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. There come truth from them as upon thee, Macbeth. Their speeches shine, why by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope. But hush no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is't far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have calls of state craving us jointly. Hie you the horse. Adieu till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night, and to make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you. Sarah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valour to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren sceptre in my gripe, hence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If't be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rankers in the vessel of my peace, only for them and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo, kings. Rather than so, come, fate, into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he, in the times past, which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, past improbation with you, how you were borne in hand, how crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion crazed say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospelled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours for ever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, chuffs, water-rugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dog. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed, whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms. His execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who were our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on't.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, whom I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business of the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour, at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on thought must be done tonight. And something from the palace. Always thought that I require a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you in more.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Oh, madam, I will.
Note's head all's spent. Where our desires got without content, 'tis safer to be that which we destroy, than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions make in using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
You have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the world suffer, and we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave, after life's fitful fever, no, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on. Gentle, my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray, be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while, we must lave our honours in these flattering streams and make our faces visits to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his Fleance lives.
But in them nature's copies is not to turn.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable, and be thou jocund. The bat hath flown his cloistered flight. Ere to black Hecat summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whilst night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated traveller apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark! I hear horses.
Give us a light there, ho!
And 'tis he. The rest are within the note of expectation already are in the court.
His horses go about.
Almost a mile, but he does usually. So all men do from thence to Palace Gate does make their walk.
A light, a light!
Oh, 'tis he.
Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Ah! Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance, fly! Fly, fly! Thou mayest revenge your slave!
Who did strike out the light?
Was not the way?
There's but one down and the sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down, and first and last, a hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks. They are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth. None will drink a measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
Is better thee without than he within? Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the non-pareil.
Most royal sir, Fleance escaped.
And comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, round as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. And now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. The Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenchy gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies, the worm that's fled, hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched while 'tis a-making. 'Tis given with welcome to feed where best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony, meeting where bear without it.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness, sit.
Here have we now our country's honour roofed, with a graced person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal...
The table's full.
Here is the place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What's that? Moves your highness.
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Oh, thou canst not say I did it, and never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
It, worthy friends, my lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him, and extend his passion. Feed, and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff! This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flows and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her grandam. Shame itself! Why do you not make such faces? When's all done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look, now, how say you? Ah, why, what care I if thou canst nod? Speak too. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the moors of kites.
What, quite unmanned folly?
I stand here. I saw him.
Fie, for shame!
Blood hath been shed ere now in the olden time, ere human statute purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since too murders have been performed too terrible for the ear, and the times have been that when the brains were out the man would die and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than shot for murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. All and him we thirst, and to all. Avaunt, and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee, thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of these, good peers, but as a thing of customs. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of this time.
Oh, a man dare, I dare. Approach thou like a rugged Russian bear, the arm rhinoceros of a Hyrcan tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit, then protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery. Hence. Why, so, being gone, I am a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be? And overcome is like a summer's cloud without our special wonder. You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights,
Sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once. Good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
We'll have blood, they say. Blood. We'll have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and chuffs and rooks brought forth a secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way. But I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house I keep a servant. Feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak. For now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand. It must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse, my the initiate fear, at once hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Now they get a little rest, a little pause, and we take a breather for a little interval. Well, I'm going to let the cast relax just for a few minutes because this is, I know they're working hard. I'm not doing anything other than watch the text, and I'm already exhausted. This is the most phenomenal play. I said to one or two people while we were rehearsing this, it's like, I really didn't think it was going to be this one, but I think Macbeth's my favorite Shakespeare. How can you not love it? The amazing, amazing language and the amazing work that everybody is doing. They are an amazing crew. I am so lucky that there are people like this that want to play this ridiculous game. Anyway, so just to say a few things quietly, I'm just going to babble on for 5 minutes. If you want to go and make a cup of tea or get a glass of whiskey or whatever it is you need to do right now. If you would like to talk to us at the moment, then please drop us a word via our Twitter feed at Shake-Scenery, and or leave us a message on the YouTube feed. I can't watch it at the moment, but it will be watched and we will check it out because I can't watch this as well as do it. It's very tiring. But anyway, so love to hear from you, see what you're making of all this fun and games that we're doing. So a little bit of chat to do. I said in my introduction, we're not being particularly political. That was hard to say. But it was a little too tempting to rewrite the Porter's text. My technical sort of, well, my theory on this is there are parts of Shakespeare's plays that were understood immediately by the audience of his time. Like on that day in that playhouse at that moment, they knew exactly who all the people were that were being brought into hell by the Porter. But at the moment, I mean, to us, it's double Dutch. We don't know. I mean, yes, it's words about bad people, but it basically becomes words. So Mark Cassidy and I had a little plot and decided that we would see about sending a few other people to hell. And then because we had this great long wait, because we were waiting to find out, something American and political that we could send to hell. And in the end, because, yesterday was actually the time we ended up writing the lines. And I wrote the text before the election result was announced. And it was like, I'm sending to hell whoever created this political system, because this is driving the whole world insane, that you count and recount, and this counts for this much, and this counts for this much. And I know it makes perfect sense, and obviously it's been running the US of A for 200 years, however long it is. Pardon me for not knowing, but politics was never my strong suit. But at the same time, wow, it's so complicated. So it was going to be fun. We decided to send the creator of that to hell, and it was just a little bit too tempting to also drop Trump and his lawyers in there, and of course everybody's best friend, coronavirus, because we were just thinking, who would we like to send to hell? I think we want to send the virus to hell. So that was it. But I mean, on the whole, I do not change anything if I can avoid it with Shakespeare. I don't take anything out and I don't put anything in. But with lines like that, which are intended to have an immediate connection to the audience, I kind of think it's worthwhile. To me, it's worth it. If you disagree, please let me know. Let's have a chat about it, because it's one of those things that nobody can really agree about, but you make your own mind up, and it's always interesting to get different points of view. Just to run over the schedule for the next few weeks. So we are Macbething right now. Next Sunday, we'll be back at 3 o'clock to do just one collection of scenes, just to keep our hand in. And we're going for a slightly different note because Macbeth is great fun, but we need a breather. The following weekend, the 22nd, we will be taking our week off, and we're bringing back, I think it's Measure for Measure. So that will be available on this channel for a week. Just drop it. If you saw it before and you want to see it again, please come and have a look. If you missed it before, please drop by. It was an interesting one because, I mean, we've been doing this for some months now, and we felt the sort of the skills required and the art form that this is, performance on Zoom, this has changed very much sort of under our hands while we've been doing it. Today it's changing again because we've had to cope with so many new things. But Measure for Measure was the first one where we really made a point of getting on top of things like how we pass props, and we had people shaking hands and hugging and getting on their knees. There was an awful lot of going on your knees in this one. So it's like, how do we work this with, you know, to get the angle to show that these things are happening and get the immediacy, the physicality. So Measure for Measure will be back with you for a week from the 29th. Sorry, I was checking my notes. Then in December, November 29th, we'll be back doing scenes. And our Christmas play, in inverted commas, it will be on December the 6th, and it's going to be 12th night. So we're ending the year with the last of our From Request plays. Today is our From Request, requested by you, our wonderful followers out there in Twitterland. You voted for Macbeth to be the tragedy we had a go at this year, and 12th Night was the elected comedy. So we will then have fulfilled all our sort of requirements in that respect to you, and it's been amazing. Thank you so much for helping us out with this. We didn't know where to go. We were spoiled for choice, and wow, have we had an interesting year. But we will be back in January. Fear you not. The Q scripters will be going. January's play will be Winter's Tale, because it's a spring story, believe it or not. And thereafter, we're going to get into the histories. I nearly said mysteries. And we're going to do at least the first half of the Hollow Crown series, starting with Richard II, going through to Henry V. And basically, if that doesn't kill us, we're going to keep going through Henry VI. So we're going to have a busy year next year. So I hope you will be able to join us for at least some of that. So, I can see some tweets are coming in. I'll have to pick those up when we've got a decent speech going on. That's when I can check things. I think it's time to see if everybody's ready to get back into a little bit of hocus pocus, double toil and trouble. Not quite. So we are going back into the wonderful world of Scotland under Macbeth. Sorry, it's really difficult not to do the accent when you're doing this. My Scots is rubbish though, so I apologise to everybody in Scotland for that. So we're going into, well, basically what I call scene 16, because we don't do acts and scenes. We are going to re-meet up with the three witches, and we're also going to meet someone else who's even more behind this devilry than the witches themselves. The witches are behind Macbeth, and Lady Macbeth, who's behind the witches? Let's find out. So, can I just check into the virtual tiring house, into the virtual wings of our virtual playhouse? Do I have my three witches? Yes. Give me a quick yes.
Yes.
Yes. Cool. Do we have a certain other person who's going to pop up?
We do.
We do. Excellent. So, I will leave you guys to the fun and games, which is going to be the second half, because we're going back into magic and mayhem. Let us see how Macbeth and Lady Macbeth deal with the situation they've got themselves into, and let's see how the rest of Scotland deals with them. But okay, for now, I'll leave you in the hands of the witches. Please take the story wherever we are going next. I will see you all at the end. Have a wonderful second half, everyone. Goodbye.
Why, how now, Hecat?
Have I not reason, bedlams as you are, saucy and overbold? How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part, or shrew the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own, not for you. But make amends now. Get you gone, and at the pit of Acheron, meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for the air this night I'll spend, unto a dismissal and a fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that distilled by magic sleights shall raise the artificial sprites, as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spawn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fair. And you will know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark, I am called, my little spirit sea, sits in foggy cloud and stays for me.
Come, make haste, she'll soon be back again.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only, I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth, marry he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbaine to kill their gracious father? Damned fact, how did it grieve Macbeth? Did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Aye, and wisely too. For 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the man denied. So that I say he has borne all things well, and I do think that had the Duncan's son under his key, as, and please heaven he shall not, they should find what were to kill a father, so should Fleance, but peace. For from broad words and cause he failed, his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The sons of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds his due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid, to wake Northumberland and warlike seaward, that by the help of these, with him above, to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets, bloody knives, do faithful homage and receive free honours, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate their king that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Send he to Macduff?
He did. And with an absolute "Sir, not I," the cloudy messenger turns me his back and hums, as it would say, "You'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer."
And that well might advise him to a caution, toward what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England, and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country, under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pidge whined.
Harpier cries, "'Tis time, 'tis time."
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad, that under cold stone, days and nights at 31, sheltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, boil and trouble, fire, burn, and bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble.
Double,
Double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and bubble. Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the ravened salt sea shark, root of hemlock digged in the dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of you, slips of you, livered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, finger of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's chaudron, for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double,
toil
and trouble, fire, burn, cauldron, bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
Well done. I commend your pains, and everyone shall share in the gains. And now, about the cauldron sing, like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
Now, you secret black and midnight hags. What is't you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though they yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundation, though the treasure of nature's german tumble all together, even till destruction sicken. Answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Say if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call them. Let me see them.
Pour in sow's blood that had eaten her 9 farrow, sweat that's taken from a murderer's gibbet, throw it into the flame. Come high or low,
thyself and
office
deathly
show.
Tell me, thou unknown power,
He knows thy thoughts.
Macbeth. Macbeth. Beware, Macduff. Beware the Thane of Five. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast happed my favour right. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the
Had I
first.
3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Bold and resolute, laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the rounded
Be
top of
lion
sovereignty?
mettled proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, till great Burnham wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good. Rebellious dead rise never till the wood of Burnham rise. And our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show. Show.
Show.
Show his eyes
And grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art like the spirit of Banquo. Down, thy crown doth sear mine eyeballs. And thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. The third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? The fourth, stout eyes, what? With a line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet? The seventh? I'll see no more. And yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more. And some I see that twofold boars and triple sceptres carry. Horrible sights! Now I see 'tis true. The blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir. All this is so. But why stands Macbeth so amazing? Come, sisters, do we up his sprites and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to make a sound, while you perform your antique round, that this great king may kindly say our duties did his welcome pay.
Now then, gone. When at this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and Damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was't came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lords, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
I now anticipates my dread exploits. Flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. Even now, to crown my thoughts with axe, be it thought and done. The counsel of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that traced him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it is his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom! To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor rat, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in the nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom, when the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But I'd speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumour from what we fear, yet know not what we fear. But float upon a wild and violent sea each way and move. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Well, fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer? I would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Oh, you poor bird. Thou'dst never fear the net, nor lime, the pitfall, nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? A poor bird they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Speaks with all thy wit, and, well, yet a faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor, and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers enow to beat the honest men and hang them up.
God help thee, monkey. But how would that do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talk'st.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honour I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence, with your little ones, to fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you were fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. I remember now I am in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defence to say I've done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
Is a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-eared villain!
You egg! Oh, you jump the factory!
He has killed me, mother. Run away, I pray you.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men, bestride our downfall and birth them, each new morn, new widow's howl, new orphan's cry, new sorrows strike heaven in the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland, and yelled out like syllable of dolor.
What I believe, I'll wail. What no believe, and what I can redress. As I shall find the time to friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may discern of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I'm not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things fouled wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I've lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why, in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love, without leave-taking. I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonours, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou bases shore. For goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs. The title is afeard. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou think'st for the whole space that's there in the tyranny's grasp, and the rich each to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer, and more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
Who should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody,
luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sordane, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust, and my desire all continent impediments would o'erbear that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such an one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in itself is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink, we have willing dames enough. There cannot be the vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a staunchless avarice that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and this other's house, and my more having would be as a source to make me hunger more. That I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and yet it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear, Scotland hath foisons to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable, with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting it many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Scotland! Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern, not to live! O nation miserable with an untitled tyrant! Bloody scepter! When shalt thou see thy wholesome days again, since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and dost blasphemous breed thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day. She lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast. Oh, thy hope ends here.
This noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honour. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous haste. But God above deal between thee and me. For even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak my own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself, for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, at no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither, indeed, before they here approach, old seaward with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. It's hard to reconcile. See who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin. Welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God betimes remove the means that make us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Send Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing, but who knows nothing, is once seems a smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not marked.
Oh.
Where violent sorrows seem a modern ecstasy, a dead man's knell. Is there scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their cap, dying ere they sicken.
A relation too nice, and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker, each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife? How does my wife?
Why, well.
Well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
Well, too?
The tyrant hath not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a niggard of your speech. How goest?
When I came hither to transport the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumour of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witness the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is a time of help. Your eye to Scotland would
Create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distress.
soldiers, make our women
to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good seaward, and 10,000 men, an older and a better soldier, none that Christendom gives out.
would I could answer. This comfort will the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concerns they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but it in share some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guessed at it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered, to relate the manner whereon the quarry of these murders dear, to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven. What man, now pull your hat upon your brows. Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He hath no children! All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, hell-kite. What, all? Oh! What a poor chickens in the dam. At one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and not take part? The sinful Macduff. They were all struck for me, not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine. Fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue, but gentle heavens cut short all admission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length set him. If he escape heaven, forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. All this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and it is most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life fast asleep, observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light by her continually, 'tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her, to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this 1/4 of an hour.
Yet, here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set this down. It comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damn the spot, out, I say. 1, 2. 1, 2. 'Tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and a feared. What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet, who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Not that.
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Right now. Will this ends ne'er be clean? Oh, no more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all with this stirring.
You go to you. You've heard what you should not.
She has spoken what she should not. I'm sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Yes, there's my last blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh.
The sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those that have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Not... Look, not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. Cannot come out one's grave.
Even so?
To bed. To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed.
We should go now? To bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My mind she has amazed, mated and amazed my sight. I think, but I dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revengers burn in them for their dear causes, wood to the bleeding, and the grim alarm excite the mortified men.
They burn of wood, shall we meet them then? That way are they coming?
Who knows if Donalbaine be with his brother?
For certain, sir, he is not. I have a file of all the gentry. There is Seward's son, and many a rough youth that even now protest their first of manhood.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad. Others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury, but for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret mother sticking upon his hands? Now minutely revolts upbraid his faith beach. Those he commands move only in command. Nothing to love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does condemn itself for being there?
Well, march we on, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly weal, and with him pour we in our country's purge each drop of us.
Or so much as it needs to do the sovereign flower and drown the weeds. Make we our march towards Burnham.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. The Burnham wood removed Dunsinane I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gotst thou that goose look?
There is 10,000.
Geese, villain!
Soldiers, sir!
Now go, prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers? Patch, death of thy soul, those linen cheeks of thine are counsellors to fear. What soldiers, whey face?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence. Satan, I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say! This push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sere, yellow leaf. And that which should accompany old age is honour, love, obedience, troops of friends I must not look to have, but in their stead curses, not loud but deep, mouth honour, breath which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Satan!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked to give me my armour.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses, scur the country round, hang those that talk of fear. Give me my armour. How does your patient, doctor?
But not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keeps her from her rest.
I'll cure her of that. Now, canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow? Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs. I'll none of it. Come, put my armour on, and give me my staff. Satan, send out. Doctor, the things fly from me. Now, come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Now pull it off, I say. What rhubarb, thyme, or what purgative drug would scour these English heads? Hear'st ye of them?
Aye, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and pain till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again would not hardly draw me here.
I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing.
Yes, nothing.
What is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery ere in report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other, but the confident tyrants keep still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope, for where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him but constrained things, whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches. That will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thought speculative, their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues, strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang out banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the egg you eat them up. Were they not forced through those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
It's the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek. My fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in. I have supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The Queen, my lord, is dead.
He should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools away to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Now canst thee use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand by my watch upon the hill, I looked towards Brain, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me enjoy your wrath, if it be not so. Within the 3 mile may you see it coming. I say a moving grove.
If thou speak'st false, upon the next tree shall thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. Full in resolution, and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes towards Dunsinane. Arm! Arm and out! If that which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to be weary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow, wind! Come, rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough. Your livy screens throw down, and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff, and we shall take upon what else remains to do, according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death!
Death!
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thou be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, no more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant! With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
I was born of woman. The swords I smile at, weapons laugh, the scorn brandished by a man that's of a woman born.
That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou beest slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghost will haunt me still. I cannot strike at these wretched kerns, whose arms were hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheath again undeeded. There thou shouldst be. By this great clatter, one of great note seems bruited. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound! Turn!
Woman else I have avoided thee. To get thee back, my soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. The bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labour, as easy mayest thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impresses make me bleed. I bear a charming life, and must not yield to one of woman born.
Spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb uncharmly ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so. It hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believe the palter with us in a double sense, and keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole and under it, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield. Kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with a rubble's curse. Oh, burn would be come to Duncanbaine, and our opposed being of no woman born. Yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damn be him who first cries, hold, enough!
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so grey a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, he's paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man, he died.
Then he is dead.
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them to a fairer death. And so his knell is knolled.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well, and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. Time is free. I see thee, compassed with the kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutations in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail!
Hail!
King of Scotland!
Shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves, and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honour named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought, by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what need full else that calls upon us, by the grace of grace we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
And there they go, off to a new realm, a new time for Scotland, in that rather doleful drum at the end. Can I have the company back onto the virtual stage, please? I know you can only hear me clapping you, but I know that everybody else is clapping too. That was an amazing achievement. So that was just brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you very much to our wonderful Macbeth, Matt. That was amazing. Valentina, thank you very much. To Tim, to Hannah, to Olly, to the witches, to Menteth, to Siegffreid, to all of you. I think all of you have either made me cheer, cry, or broken my heart this afternoon. So I thank you very much. What more could we ask for in our theatre? So thank you all. Oh my God. Right. So thank you all again for coming and spending this afternoon with us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We will see. We'll be back next week, 3 o'clock, just to do some scenes. It'll be a lot easier going than this, I hope. But thank you so much. Thank you again. We'll see you next week. Everybody have a wonderful week. Have a safe week. Look after yourselves and each other. And good luck, America. And good luck, everybody, for the week that is to come. All right. Thank you all very much. Valentina, take us offline. We have had an amazing afternoon. Thank you all. And farewell, Scotland. Scotland for aye. Oh. Okay, are we done?